Hello, everyone. Back with some Elvis, some videos. Just finally went back to the record store last week. I just want to show you. I only got one record because they didn't really have much Elvis stuff, surprisingly. And they have this record store is really hard because they have like their new arrivals and stuff, but they're not in like any alphabetical order. So it's like you'd spend like hours trying to go through them to find, trying to find an Elvis album. But I did get this one, and I thought it was pretty cool because it was a Japan, a record. So here it is. So this video, it's gonna do some just showing this off and some books. So we got that, and to show you what it looks like. Um, yeah, so it has this label here. um, Not too familiar, not too knowledgeable about like the international Elvis albums, but this is like kind of always cool to add to your collection. I have um, one other Elvis album from Japan. Um, So this would be my second one. So this is what the record looks like. All right, and then it comes came with this, and then the sheet, lyric sheet, and stuff. And then I'll show you what the songs are. Lost, basically everything, songs from from the early part of his career. So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. So I just wanted to talk about some books that I had in my collection. I'm not sure if I did videos of this before, but wanted to do something about some Elvis books that I have, and I found some of these ones. This one I went to back in when I went to we went to like my family went to Pennsylvania back in November. We just spent like 4 days there, quick vacation, and there was a record store, and I bought like a lot of Elvis records, and they gave me this for free. A Presley Speaks by Vester Presley. So this was Vernon's brother, and I guess he wrote a book, many years ago. So I really really want to. Let me show you another book that I got too. I want to get this ready, but. Talk about that. But I really, really, really interested in this book. I don't know if have you read it? Like so really interested in seeing. So this is the record. Yeah, this is I think this is the record store that I went to. It was called the Record Connection. It's really, I mean, if you're in that area, they have a lot of Elvis records. They have rows of Elvis records. I think this is autographed. I don't know. It has like an autograph over here, so I don't. Um, there's like a note in here. I don't know who that might have been for somebody when they bought it. Let's see if there's Vester right there by the gate. So I guess like if I remember, he was the one that worked security by the gates of Graceland. So it was written in 1978. It's copyrighted 1978. Again, a lot of things. Once Elvis died, a lot of things came out, like magazines, books, and stuff. So because what they do is like when somebody dies, they want to capitalize on it because people are going to be interested in it. So a lot of people wrote books, trying to make money off Elvis after he died. There's a lot of pictures in here too. I thought. I mean, I find this interesting too. I mean, I'm definitely going to read this next, just because I mean, he was there. He was. It's one thing if you have somebody else write a book, but let's see if there's any other pictures. There's Vernon with Vester. There's a picture of Elvis. I just think this was a good find. Plus, especially the guy gave it to me for free. It was like I don't think there's a mass like people are wanting. Hey, do you have the Vester Presley book? I don't think there's a lot of people wanting it. So he's like, I'll just give it. This is gonna probably collect dust. The guy was really nice and said he gave it to me for free. of course, I spent like over $100 on records, so so I guess it made up for it. Um, that's some really cool pictures here. I'm not sure if you can still get this book. You probably can get it on eBay. I don't think it's like worth anything. It's Patsy. I mean, again, I haven't really heard much about this book. So I'm really curious to see what his story is. Some pictures of Elvis in concert. I'll say it again, and I've said it in previous videos. My favorite jumpsuit or outfit, that Elvis wore is like this outfit, the two piece, this thing. I think it's the two. I don't know what they call it, the two piece jumpsuit or whatever. That's my favorite. I think that looked really good. I think if he lived, and he was approaching like the late 70s, early 80s, if he lived, I would have loved him to wear more of those type of outfits. Nothing wrong with the jumpsuits. I enjoy those too, but there's something about that because it's just something different. This would be interesting too to read August 15th and August 16th of 1977 to see his story. His retelling of the events of Elvis's death. Yeah, so it's and the writings on the wall and stuff. And yeah, so hopefully, I think I'm gonna be reading this next. Right, I'll show you before I show the other books. I'll show you what I'm reading right now, and I know I regret buying this, but I got the Priscilla book, Softly as I Leave You, and I don't know. I thought this book was going to be a lot different from what it is. I know a lot of people have their opinions on Priscilla. I'm not a Priscilla supporter or anything like that, but I was just curious about, what her story, what she's going to have in this book. This is the back, pictures. If you want, I'll show you some of the pictures. But I don't know if you're reading the book or you're interested in reading the book. I'm finding it really hard to continue the book. Obviously, you just could say this. The book was written as a response to Lisa Marie's book. There's no doubt about that. Even reading it, Priscilla portrays herself as this great person, perfect, and that she's like, oh, I didn't know that her, that all the stuff that was happening, she's, oh, I wasn't aware. If she told me, I would have, we would have addressed the situation and all that stuff. So she comes out to being almost too perfect, and when it's like that, it's almost like you're coming off as phony in a way, and that's what I got from this book. Is it's like she's becoming. It almost sounds like too phony and fake. I don't know if that's real, like how she is in real life or whatever. But to me, when I was reading the book, she just sounded fake to me. That it was like she was, especially in the beginning when she talks about leaving Elvis. She was making it almost like, putting it on her that she needed to find herself, and the only identity she had at the time was with Elvis, so she wanted to see what other life was like and stuff. And we all know why she really, she left because, she was, having an affair with, she had an affair with that karate instructor, Mike Stone, which is mentioned in the book. She does talk about that. What was I showing the pictures? I'm showing some of the pictures of the book if you're interested. But there's not really much pictures of Elvis in here. Just this one, and this is ones you've probably seen before. I thought, I thought this book was going to be more about when it says "Softly as I Leave You," life after Elvis. I thought it was going to be more about her, after like more talking about the divorce, talking about maybe because I didn't read her other book, Elvis and Me. I didn't read that yet. I don't have it. I'm not sure if I ever will read it. I always see it in Barnes and Noble. When I check the the Elvis books and see if there's anything new out. I see it. I don't know. A couple of couple years, many years ago actually, when the book came out. I think 1988. They came out with a mini series called Elvis and Me. It was not a mini series or mini movie or something. A made for TV movie actually. And it was I remember watching it as a kid. Of course it was more geared towards pro Priscilla. And of course it will be because it's based on her book. Priscilla's last movie that came out about her life, trash. It was really bad. Don't even bother watching it. Definitely one-sided, and not necessary. You didn't really need the movie. It's one of those movies that didn't need to be made. But I thought this book was going to be more concentrating more on after Elvis in a way of like her life when he was still alive, kind of what she was doing and stuff, and more of that, and then getting into after he died, how she became involved with the Graceland and opening it up to the public for tours and all that. I thought there would be more information about that. She does discuss it, but it was almost like these brief summaries of it. It's not really like goes into much detail. I wanted to know more. It's almost like she's like kind of defending herself against like Lisa and stuff, and making her sound like she's like this perfect person, and it talks about her life afterwards. Becoming an actress. Going to being on Dallas. And then the Naked Gun, being on the Naked Gun series, which was a really good movie. But yeah, so right now, I have a few more pages left, but it's just to me just a little bit boring. I'm here for the Elvis part, but I'm not. If there's no Elvis part, I'm not really interested in it. So it's just I'm sure that there's Priscilla fans are going to enjoy this book, but for me, I'm just struggling trying to finish it up. So other books that I have that I got from record stores and stuff, I got this. I don't know what edition this is, but Elvis biography by Jerry Hopkins. So this is. I have the other version. I guess the updated version. This is the updated version. I got this from Amazon. You can still get it from Amazon. It's not that expensive. I think it was like maybe like $15. I'm saying that now, but it might be the price might went up or down or whatever. So what Jerry Hopkins did was like he wrote 2 books about Elvis back in. This one covers. I think when did this one come out? So this one came out I think in 1973. No, I'm sorry. This one came out in 1971. So he wrote this book about Elvis's life. So again, Elvis was it's an interesting read because Elvis was still alive when this came out, and he so this is like I guess maybe like the first versions of the book, and then after Elvis died, he wrote another book. I think this one came out a couple years after Elvis died, and then so this version is basically combining the 2 books into one. So I really enjoyed this book. I like this book a lot because you have the other books that came out of Elvis's life. Last Train to Memphis and Careless Love is probably the gold standard when it comes to Elvis biographies. If you're an Elvis fan, definitely get those books. Because there's a lot of details in it. But if you don't want to read 2 books about Elvis's life, this is really good. This is really good too. It's loaded with a lot of pictures and stuff of Elvis's career, all this stuff. But this is really, really good. Really enjoyed this book. I think I did a review of this book in one of my videos. And then you have. So I got this one too, even though I already read the book. I just wanted to. It was only $2. As you can see how old the book is. Look at the pages are like yellow. Not really. I mean, you got pictures in here too. I don't think there's anything that's any pictures that we have not seen before in other books and magazines. So the classic picture of Elvis standing in front of Graceland. This one. This is a little because again this is from 1970, 71. So the picture qualities are again, black and white, so they're not the best quality pictures. So I have this one, and then I also have, I found this one at the same place, The Private Elvis. And so this came out, I think, around when Elvis died. Let's see, the copyright. Yeah, so it came out, I think, in 1975, and then they did like I guess they reprinted in 1977. Oh, copyright in 1977. So it came out in 1975, but then they did kind of like an updated because they includes the entire New York Times obituary of August 17th, 1977. So I guess they did kind of a reprinting of it for 1977. So I always thought it's kind of cool when you read like books and articles that were written when Elvis was alive. A lot of things nowadays is when you get like or when after after he died and stuff. Um, so we'll see what this book is about. Eventually, I'll get into reading that. But yeah, these are a record and some new books to the collection.